morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So, I believe I fixed my mic issues. Something was wrong with the cord I had, so I got a new cord, and we're testing that out right now. Seems to be working really nice. So I hope this video works out perfectly fine. We don't have any audio issues that we've had in the past two videos that we've had to sort of edit out and play around if I could. But everything seems to be looking good, so I hope that's going to be good. Anyway, I'm going to come at you today with a different type of video. I'm sort of going to walk you guys through how to gear all the classes. I'd love to cover all the classes, all the specs, sort of show everyone special ways, just cool tips, tricks to gear your guys and sort of how to walk through that process. So when you're a fresh 60, it can be overwhelming, you know? You get all these, like your max level, you have all these things to go do, get attuned, get geared, and that can kind of be overwhelming, especially for new players. So what I want to try to do here is walk you through what types of gear you want to get so you can raid at your best potential. And I figured we'll start with Mage because that's the class I've played all of Classic, and I finally feel like I have a good grasp on that. So when we're first coming here, we'll go just straight down the line. So fresh level 60. There are three helms you really want to look at for Mage. One of those is in Stratholme. It drops from Magistrate Barathas. It is the Crimson Felt Hat. It's 30 spell power, 8 stam, 8 spirit. Now this is an amazing helmet. It'll last you until you're able to secure your tier 1 or tier 2 helmets. Now, tier 1, in my opinion, is better than tier 2 because it has the 1% hit chance. Tier 1 Arcanist Crown drops in Molten Core off of the third boss, or fourth boss, Gar, right here, the guy with the rocks. He also drops Binding for Thunder Fury, if you're curious, but he drops the Arcanist Crown. This is a very great helmet because it has 1% hit. So right now we're in phase 3, so we're very much coming up on phase 4, so you don't really replace this until that with Bloodvine and other pieces. But right now you can get the Arcanist Crown. That's the next upgrade. Then you also have the Nether Wind Crown, which is the tier 2 helmet. It has 32 spell power, 4 mana per 5, and just a lot of good stats as well. The only reason I use this, the tier 1, is because I have the 3 set bonus, and that I'll go into more in depth because for Mage, your set and how you play around them really matters for your tier 1, and tier 2 you don't really want to go for unless you get the 8 set and your Winner's Chill. That's the only time I would recommend going into that. But anyway, the next helmet that every Mage is going to want, every caster wants, is from Nefarian, and we're going to come to Nefarian a lot. But the helm is Machandre's circle of a circlet of the Mind Flayer. This is huge. 35 spell power, 2% crit. This is the best helmet for everyone. Everyone's going to want to seek this. Warlocks, mages, shadow priests. It's just an amazing helmet. So that's sort of the progression. You go Felt Hat, then Arcanist Crown or Nether Winds. I would say Arcanist Crown has the edge, especially if you have the other tier pieces, but the Nether Wind Crown is easier to get, and it's not that big of a difference starting off. Then we come to neck pieces. So right now I have the Choker of Enlightenment. Before you should start raiding, you should be looking at Stratholme again. This is on Strath Living side. You kill the big evil demon, Balnazar, and you want the Star of Mysteria, sorry about that. It has 1% hit, and it's a really good neck. It is really your only source of hit pre-raid that you can get before ZG comes out. So you're really going to want to focus on getting this neck piece. Then Choker of Enlightenment is your next one. And then we come to Molten Core for the current BIS one of the Choker of the Fire Lord. 34 spell power. So that's an amazing neck right there. Then we come to Shoulders, which is the Boreal Mantle. Now you're going to use this for a long time, and you can find the Boreal Mantle from BRD. It is dropped from, I believe, There's a lot of bosses here, but it's dropped by the Dark Coffer, the Warder Stalgus. It's a really high drop rate. You'll be able to get this one pretty quickly, especially if you're leveling in BRD and doing stuff there. So it's 29 damage for Frost. This is an amazing shoulder piece. I also have the tier 1, which you can interchange to keep your 3 set depending on the other pieces that you get. So we'll get into that when we get to the gloves, because having the pieces and the options definitely help to maintain your 3 set as long as it's the biggest upgrade for you. Then we come to capes. I'd go with Saffron's Drape from Onyxia's Lair. Now, this is the best cape for you because of the stats it provides. Obviously, it's not the highest spell power one. An alternative option is in Dire Maul West off of Magister Calendris. You can get the Amplifying Cloak, which is just 18 spell power. So if we look at this one, it gives you 17 intellect, which gives you crit as a mage. So it's better to have the Saffron Drape, in my opinion. You can also go with greens that are like 21 spell power, or an Archivist Cloak of Frozen Wrath from Stratholme Live off of the Archivist Galford. Those are the options for capes. Pretty much up to you and sort of situational. The Saffron Drape you can't go wrong with because it gives you those stats which helps you live, survive, resist, and have a lot more stuff as a mage. Then we come to the Robe of the Arc Mage. This is an amazing robe. You're not going to replace it until ZG comes out and you can get your Bloodvine set. Right here, 40 spell power, 1% crit, and restores mana for you. It's just an amazing robe. Every mage should have this. You should go after it. In order to get it, it requires 300 tailoring, so you have to max out tailoring, and then you have to get the Robe of the Arc Mage piece. You can find this recipe in BRD. It drops off of the Flame Brand Warriors, or Flame Brand Pyromancers. There's usually only 3 of them, and they're in the back of the bottom part of BRD. I actually have a video that's 4 minutes, really old, of me duo farming it with Puntard. So so check that out if you're interested and don't understand sort of where I'm saying to go. But just wanted to let you know. Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's Lower Blackrock Spire. I said BRD. But you go to Lower Blackrock Spire to get that. We look here, the trash Robe of the Archmage. It drops off of the Firebrand Pyromancers down in that bottom part before the spider boss. Next, we come to bracers. Now, the best 2 bracers to really use are your Arcanus bindings. This is tier 1 trash in Molten Core, so any trash can drop them. They're BOE. You can buy them off the auction house. These are really great bracers. You're not going to place them until if you're super lucky and you get the bracers of arcane accuracy. These are amazing. 1% hit, 21 spell power. There are a lot of other options out there for bracers. You can get some green ones until you have either of these, but these bracers drop off of Blackwing Lair, Brutal Lord Lasher, bracers of arcane accuracy right there. They're huge, and you should really, really try to get them as soon as you can. I got them last night. First piece of BWL gear. I'm super stoked. Then we come to gloves. Now, gloves are tricky. Because of me using these new bracers I got last night, I now use the Arcanus gloves because it nets more spell power. An example, look, we see my spell power at 401 right here. We use Hands of Power, which are the ones that most people have right now. My spell power goes to 395. If I use the Arcanus gloves, my spell power is 401. So it's a 6 spell power difference, but that means every spell is hitting 6 more, as well as these have more intellect, so my crit went up to 11.4% instead of 11.3. So that was the best upgrade. It's very flexible, but Hands of Power are a rare drop from Lower Blackrock Spire from Quartermaster Ziggurat. He can only drop he always drops his box here, and then he can either drop this leather girdle or Hands of Power or an Annihilator. I have seen him drop the box, one of these, and an Annihilator all at once. It was crazy. I've never really seen that. Anyway, we come to the belt. Bantlock Stash is the go-to one. There's no other one that you can really get until MC and some insane luck, but you're going to get that off of the arena, so you can actually farm this pretty well. Tons of warriors are doing it all the time, trying to get their best in slot chest piece, but it's Okathor the Breaker. He drops that. After you have that, you're going to want to look into Molten Core, and it is a chance drop off of Magmadar, Gar, Barongeddon, and Golem to get the mana igniting cord. That's going to be one of your best belts for a long time. There are some options in BWL, but you're really going to want to look for that. And then we come to the legs. Now there are 3 options. The first one is the Sky Shroud Leggings. You're going to get these from Lower Blackrock Spire, and they drop off of the High Overlord Olmec. They're a pretty rare drop, I guess. 12% is what Atlas Loot is showing. These will last you for a very long time. I've been using mine since Phase 1. The options that you have available to you are Molten Core, Ragnaros, dropping tier 2 legs. These are amazing. 30 spell power and just 1% crit. So you get that 1% crit for 4 spell power, as well as the intellect and stam are just insane on those. So you really want to try to get those tier 2 pants as much as you possibly can. I honestly have hardly really seen those. They hardly drop at all for me. I guess just unlucky as far as that goes. Then we come to the boots. Currently, the best boots that you can get for a mage PvPing are Ringo's Blizzard's boots. These are drops from Trash within Blackwing Lair. These are insane. You're going to use these. You use these until you switch to Fire in AQ, and that's when the PvP boots come into play. Rank 7 is what's required for those, as well as you're going to want to play around with that 2-set because it's very powerful. I'm not rank 7 yet, so I don't have those. Ideally, you use the shoulders from rank 10 and the rank 7 boots for a very long while to get the most spell power. I just personally do not have that. It's tough to get all these content out as well as grind PvP and do all the other stuff I do daily. So I tried to get it. I got to rank 6 and just got burnt out queuing for AV. But now that Wrathy Basin's out, I might give it another whirl, see if I'm enjoying that. But anyway, we come to the boots. You have Omnicast boots, which are going to be the first ones that you go for. You use these for a very long time, and you might even use them again if you do not have that rank 7. They drop from Golem Lord Argylmac in BRD. He is the dude right in front of the Grim Guzzler in that room with all the golems. It's just a nice, easy kill. They're his highest drop rate. You'll see them so often. The only other thing you'll see is the legs. If you're lucky and you farm this to help a healer or people get their trinkets, a lot of people are doing it. If you need it as a mage, they do it. They do a Hodge run with General Angerforge to get that trinket for melee, and then they will do a second wind grind for their healer that's healing with them if the healer needs that. That was a bit earlier. Now that the class trinkets are out, a lot of priests just use that one and the Dire Maul one. Next we have rings. So rings are super tricky. There are a lot of options for you as far as a mage. I have Orgrimmar. This is from Saving the Princess quest. Absolutely a must. Do it. 18 spell power. Pretty awesome. You can use that for a very long time. Then Freezing Band, it's an epic BOE, 21 spell power. I'd recommend at least one of them, guys. It might not seem worth it, but if you're really trying to be the best you can be, I would get that. The only thing I would maybe not get it is if you bought a Maiden Circle, which is a rare BOE drop. It can drop off of Nixia and a few other sources. I would definitely recommend going to get I would, maybe you could get by with an Eye of Orgrimmar and that if you want, but if you're gonna buy the Maiden Circle, just save for the freezing band. There's really no need to just not get the extra 100 gold, 200 gold, depending on your server, to get the freezing band. Now, what's really interesting about being a mage is you can have 2 freezing bands. They're not unique. So you could double that up. Like I said here, I only have 1 because I do not see the purpose of doing that. An alternative is a Band of the Unicorn. It's a level 44 BOE drop. I actually got one when I was leveling. It was pretty cool. So I had one from ZG all the way up. And then I got Eye of Orgrimmar, and I was using that, so I bought the freezing band. Now, if we look to Molten Core, the best ring that you can get for now is a ring of spell power. You're going to want 2 of these, just pure raw spell power. It's a very low drop off of Lucifron, Gehennis, Shaz, and Sulfuron. So it's a really awesome ring, but very rare indeed. Now, another ring that you were going to want to get is the Band of Forced Concentration. This is an amazing ring. It drops off of Ebonrock. It has 1% hit and 21 spell power. This is just a straight-up replacement for your freezing bands. You can only have 1 of these, so I would recommend using 1 of these and a ring of spell power if you're so lucky enough to have that as an option. Right now, it's kind of weird being unable to hit cap and then sort of optimizing how much spell power you can get and where you want to have your hit at. But in order to have a true hit cap, you're going to want to use the band, the Neff Trinket, and your Bloodvine set. But that is a very situational thing. But until you're at the point where you have the choice of 2 spell power rings or this, as well as some other hit things, this is just an amazing ring to have while gearing up, especially as a mage. Next, we have trinkets, and holy crap, there are a lot. The standard 2 that you'll be with for a while are Briarwood Reed. It's a rare drop in Ubers, Upper Blackrock Spire. It drops off of Jed Runewatcher. A lot of people farm for him, and this is essential for every caster to get, even healers for a while. You just have to enter Ubers and spam a target macro at the top of the steps. You target him, then you can go in there. There's tons of warriors farming it. You can get a very easy Jed Rind run and try to get your Briarwood. He only drops 3 things. Now, he does drop this Shadow Wand, which is important for raiding BWL. Especially as a mage, I'd recommend snagging this wand because we need some source of shadow and we need some source of nature damage. While we're talking about that wand, there is a nature damage wand that you can get from doing the quests in Western Plaguelands for Nathanos Blightcaller. It gives you a Storm Rager wand. It's nature damage. You should grab that too. I will have a video on that coming out soon. Now we have your second trinket slot. You can also get Eye of the Beast. You get this from finishing the Onyxia questline. I believe turning in the Rindhead will yield you that trinket. It's a 2% crit one. I believe I still have it. I will check my bank here to take a look. Yeah, right there. There's the Eye of the Beast trinket right here that you can use. Just 2% crit. You can use that and that until you use that in the Briarwood until you get a Talisman of Imperial Power. And that is a rare drop from Molten Core. It drops off of a select few bosses like the other pieces we mentioned. It'll drop off of Magmadar, Gar, Baron Geddon, and Golem the Incinerator. So those are the 4 bosses that drop it. This is an amazing trinket. You will use it the entire game. Like, it is insane. And now with BWL out, you have the option for an even better trinket, or a situationally better one, the Mind Quickening Gen. It is a unique mage trinket. It drops off of Valistraz the Corrupt. He's the big red dragon who makes you get insane damage, no cooldowns, and just kill app everything. It's a really fun fight. I actually really enjoy BWL. For Classic, like, it is a huge step up from Molten Core, and the fact, like, there's just a lot of cool stuff that you have to fight and do, and just so many things to sort of play around and actually learn about. So that's the Mind Quickening Gem. You cannot pop Toe-Up and Mind Quickening Gem at the same time. So what you would want to do is while you have the Mind Quickening Gem and Toe-Up, if you get both, you're going to want to just interchange them. So like while you use Toe-Up right here, bam, now it's on a 1 minute and 30-second cooldown. So once that's off, you're going to want to put the Mind Quickening Gem in, wait 30 seconds, and then use that. You can't swap your trinkets in combat. That's important to note. But you can do it in between fights. And since Mind Quickening runs a 5-minute cooldown, you're going to want to use that on every chance you get, maybe 2-3 fights per raid, depending how long your raid goes. So finally, we come to weapons. Now, weapons for mages. There are many options. So the first one-hander that you can get is in Stratholme. It is off, or not Stratholme, sorry, Scholomance. It is off of the last boss. It is a Witch Blade. It has 14 spell power. And then what you're going to want to do with the Witch Blade is you're going to want to pair that with an Exalted with AV offhand. So right here, Tome of the Ice Lord. This gives you 34 spell power. That and the Witchblade in the Tome is the best you can do. Honorable mentions, this was before AV came out. From Dire Maul North, if you really just want to get a quick weapon from the Tribute Cache, you can get Rod of the Ogre Magi. I used this for a very long time. It's a good option, but I would go for Witchblade and the offhand from AV nowadays. And with even Arathi Basin out, there are some really good two-handed staff options, as well as a one-handed dagger from that as well. It is the Mind Fang. You can get that and the and that AV offhand, as well as Ironbark Staff, which has some nice stats on it as well. 2% crit and 41 spell power. So those are also options you can go for. And then finally, the best thing that you can do, obviously the PvP stuff is pretty good, but I would say the right here, if you go for rank 14, but the people going for that, you know exactly what you're getting. So I'm kind of avoiding that if I can. We come to the Staff of the Shadow Flame. This is an amazing staff. Just tremendous. 2% crit, all those amazing stats, and 84 spell power. It's insane. One of the best staffs you can get. And then I completely forgot to mention, when we're talking about trinkets, Nethalon's Tear. This trinket is insane. This is the next upgrade that you're going to want to go for, as far as swapping out one of your Reed or your Toe-Up or your Mind Quickening. You're going to want to have the Tear and a Toe-Up and Mind Quickening pretty much the entire time. If you're in a situation where both are down, then you can swap the Reed in for Toe-Up and Mind Quickening if they're both on cooldown, but I doubt they will ever be there. And then I also forgot to mention the Cloak of the Broodlord. This is the best in slot cape as well. Nefarian literally has 4 pieces that every single mage and every single warlock and every single shadow priest wants, and it is the staff, the helm, the back, and this trinket. They are the best in slot for us, just absolutely. Then when we come to wands, Wand of the Biting Cold, all you have to do is win an AV, and it is a quest reward item. So if you win AV from the quest, you get this wand, and that is it. Anyway, guys, this is the detailed gearing guide, phases 1 through 3. I really hope this helps you out, and if you have any questions, just let me know, and I will try my best to guide you in the right direction for what gears you can get and the other things that you might need. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Sorry it's a long one. This is sort of me being as detailed as I can, where you can get all these pieces, what to go for. So I really hope you enjoy it, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye. If you made it to the ending, thank you so much for watching this video. It really helps. If you could, please share this with like one person you know, because it would help me so much. I'd appreciate that. Really gets me going on this and can keep growing to make this sustainable and keep up this lifestyle. So I super appreciate it. And if you could please like, comment, and subscribe, it would mean the world to me. And thank you so very much. Bye-bye.